Hello everyone and welcome back to English with Ansar. In this video, I am going to talk about Unit 3, Another Woman, poem Another Woman. First of all, we will talk about poet. It is written by Imtiaz Dharkar. Imtiaz Dharkar was born in Lahore in Pakistan in 1954 and brought up in Glasgow, Scotland. She is ranked on par with some of the famous women poets of India such as Kamala Das, Sujata Bhatt and Tara Patil. She is not only a poet but also a painter and an accomplished documentary filmmaker. Her collections of poetry include Parda, Postcards from God, and I Speak for the Devil, The Terrorist at My Table, and Leaving Fingerprints. Now, the next thing is, what is the poem all about? This poem deals with the hardships of women in the present society. It is all about the domestic violence that is being experienced by women. The poem talks about the miserable life of a housewife who kills herself due to the tortures she faces. It shows the daily routine work of an ordinary woman who confronts many difficulties or challenges in her life. She does not have rights to speak. She does not have any freedom also. She is not cared by anyone, even her husband also. Now I am going to read poem stanza by stanza and try to explain you about every stanza. First stanza. This morning she bought green methi in the market, choosing the freshest bunch, picked up a white radish. Imagine the crunch it would make between her teeth, the sweet sharp taste, then put it aside, thinking it an extravagance, counted her coins out carefully, tied them a small bundle into her sari at the waist. So here the first line or first stanza in this poem is like this. This morning she bought green methi in the market. So the protagonist or the central or main character of this lesson, woman, she is in the market choosing the freshest bunch. She chooses the freshest bunch of methi, green methi. Methi is a vegetable, leafy vegetable. Methi is leafy vegetable. So she is in the market and she is choosing the freshest bunch. Picked up the white radish. Another one, after purchasing methi, she wants also to purchase white radish. Radish is also a type of vegetable. So first she picked up a white radish. White radish is also a, what can we say, vegetable. Imagine the crunch it would make between her teeth. So she is imagining by picking up the radish, she is imagining that the crunch and taste of radish. So the sweet sharp taste, the radish taste is sweet and sharp. She is just imagining by picking up the radish, then put it aside. Then after that what she does, she puts the radish aside. She does not, her idea, what was the idea? The idea in her mind first idea was to pick and to purchase the radish. Later what happens? She thinking it an extravagance. So she thinks that if I am purchasing methi radish, it would be an extravagance, unnecessary expenditure, unnecessary spending money. That's the reason she cancels or she changes her minds. Counted her coins out carefully. She counted all the coins carefully tied them in a small bundle in her sari at the waist. So her idea, first of all, she purchases methi. After purchasing methi, she wants to purchase, buys radish also. But what happens after? First she makes her mind that she will purchase radish also. Later she changes her mind because she thinks that it is an extravagance, it is an extra unnecessary expenditure, unnecessary spending money. That's the reason she does not purchase or buys. She does not buy radish, and she collects all coins. She counted her coins and she keeps in a what I can say small bundle and into her sari at the waist. Now the second stanza. Came home, faced her mother-in-law's dark looks, took the leaves and chopped them, her hands stained yellow from the juice, cut an onion fine and cooked the whole things in the pot over the stove, shielding her face from the heat. Came home, faced her mother-in-law's dark looks. The meaning of this line is, when she comes home, her mother-in-law starts cursing her because of spending money. She does not mind and she does not say anything. Took the leaves and chopped them. Then she starts, chopping the methi or cutting the methi. Her hands stained yellow from the juice. So when she cuts the vegetables, what happens? The methi, the water or the juice of methi makes her hands yellow. So the the water from the methi or juice of methi makes her hands yellow stained. Cut an onion. Then she picks one onion, fine onion, and she cuts and fine and cooked the whole thing in the pot over the stove. Then she keeps everything, all the vegetables, and she cooks a curry, shielding her face from the heat. Then what happens? She protects her face from the heat which is coming from the stove. Now the third stanza. The usual words came and beat their wings against her, the money spent, curses heaped upon her parents, who had sent her out to darken other people's door. The usual words came and beat their wings against her. Here, the usual words, it is common for the woman to listen from her mother-in-law. Mother-in-law, every time, every day she curses her. So this is not new for her. And here the poet uses the words. The usual words came and beat their wings against her. So words, they do not have, wings. So here poet uses one of the figures of speech, personification. The usual words came and beat their wings against her. It means, here poet says that her mother-in-law's words are like wings which are beating the woman. Words are acting like wings here. So words do not have wings, but poet uses the words as wings here, which is called personification. Personification is a literary device or a figures of speech which is used to give life or human qualities to non-living things. So here wings are beating her. So here what is that? It is called personification. Now the money spent, she spent money, that is the reason mother-in-law's words are beating her, against her, these words are acting like wings. Curses heap upon her parents, who had sent her out to darken other people's door. So she also, her mother-in-law also curses her parents who had sent her out to darken other people's door. So what is here? Mother-in-law curses her parents also for sending her and making their home gloomy or sad. This is the concept of the third stanza. Now the fourth stanza. She crouched as usual on the floor beside the stove. When the man came home, she did not look into his face nor raise her head, but bent her back a little more. Nothing gave her the right to speak. So this is the fourth stanza. She crouched as usual on the floor beside the stove. It means as usual she sits beside the stove. Then her husband comes home, but she did not look into his face. Even she bends a little more. She does not have right to speak or utter a single word. So what happens here? She crouched as usual on the floor beside the stove. When the man came home, she did not look into his face nor raise her head. So what happens when he comes home? She does not look into his face nor raise her head. Okay, but bent her back a little more. Nothing gave her right to speak. So she does not have any rights to speak, or she does not have anything to say. Only she sits quietly. Now the fifth stanza. She watched the flame hiss up and beat against the cheap old pot, a wing of brightness against its blackened cheek. This was the house she had been sent to, the man she had been bound to, the future she had been born into. Fifth stanza. She watches the flame which hisses up and beats against the old pot. Here, the flame encourages her or ignites her the thought of suicide. The flame is raising up and beating against the pot. She thinks about the house where she has been sent to, the man whom she has been born to, the future she has been born into. She thinks that nobody is there to take care of her. Nobody is there to support her. Most probably, she gazes towards the flame which hisses up, means encourages her to do suicide. Now the last stanza. So when the kerosene was thrown, it was the only choice that she had ever known. Another torch blazing in the dark, another woman. We shield our faces from the heat. It means, what is the meaning of sixth stanza? Then she decides to do suicide because nobody is there for her to take care. She pours the kerosene on her and submits her life by committing suicide. Thus, she ends her life. And we do not take care such things seriously, and we neglect such things. We do not concern and do not value such serious issues. So the poem ends in the sad manner and in tragic way. Now the last part of the poem is summary. The poem begins with the scene in the vegetable market. The woman in the poem goes to the market to buy vegetables. She buys fresh methi and wishes to buy a white radish, which is known for its crunch and taste. But she puts her idea aside, thinking that it is an extravagance. She counts her coins carefully and ties them in a small bundle into her sari at the waist. When she comes home, she faces harsh behavior of her mother-in-law. She takes the methi and cuts them. Then she adds a fine onion to the methi and makes curry. She cooks the vegetables in the pot over the stove, protecting her face from the heat. Her mother-in-law starts cursing her for spending money. She does not leave her parents too. She curses her parents for sending the girl who darkens their home. The woman listens to everything silently because she is taught to be silent from her childhood. She sits near the stove bearing the heat. Then her husband comes home, but she does not raise her head. In fact, she bends her back a little more. She has no right to speak about anything. She sits watching the flame which hisses up and beats against the old pot. Hence, this is the house where she has been sent to by her parents. This is the man whom she has been born to, and this is the world which she has been born into. Now, there is no other choice for her. The only option left in front of her is to take her life. She submits herself to fire by pouring the kerosene on herself. Thus, she ends her life. There are so many women who are bearing severe tortures at present. The woman in the poem is a representative of the world's women who are experiencing the same condition in the present society. We are turning our faces from the harsh reality of our society. We don't pay any attention to such incident. Here we can see that a woman herself is an enemy to another. I hope you have understood this lesson. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Have a great day. Enjoy learning.